Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this tutorial, I will be teaching you how to encrypt data in PHP. And if you have a data like, let's say, just for testing, this is a test data, and this is the second test data. Then this is the third test data. Alright, so let's just submit it, and the encrypted form is going to be displayed here, and the decrypted form, the real one, the real data is going to be displayed here. Alright, let's just submit it. Alright, so this is the encrypted data here. See, this is the encrypted data. I don't know why it didn't wrap. Okay. Alright, so this is the raw data, and this is the encrypted data. So this is what we are going to be doing in this tutorial. I'm going to be learning how we can encrypt data such as this, how we can encrypt data and decrypt it back. Alright. Okay, so I've done few basic setups. So it's just ordinary HTML, CSS. So and this is text area that we're going to be using to enter the text that we want to encrypt, and this is where we're going to be displaying the encrypted data, and this is where we're going to be displaying the decrypted data. Alright, so we are going to be using PHP openssl encrypt. Let's go to PHP documentation. Right, in PHP documentation website, if you read it well, see openssl encrypt, then it takes in the data, the cipher algorithm, then the password or the key, then the option 0. The option is a bitwise disjunction of the flag openssl raw data or openssl 0 padding. But we don't need that. We actually do not need that. Just set it to 0. Alright, then string iv. That's generated the generated strings, the secured generated string, this secured string, then the tag, then the advanced additional authentication data, then tag length. Right, so this is what we are going to be using to encrypt our data. So it's going to encrypt the data. Securely, very secured. It's going to encrypt the data securely. Alright, so let's go to the code. Alright, this is the basic setup that I've done. Just normal HTML here, and this is the CSS here. Don't worry, the lesson files of this tutorial is going to be available. The link to the lesson files is going to be available in the description of this tutorial. Alright, so I've copied the encryption, the openssl encrypt function here. So I just copied it, and this is decryption function. We are going to be decrypting the data too. So this is decryption. This is the function to decrypt the data. So we are going to pass in the decrypted data, then the cipher algorithm, then the the password, the passphrase, then the option, then the IV, then the tag, then I do forget. Okay, additional authentication data. All right, so let's start. All right, so we're going to start with the openssl. I'm just going to, all right, so encrypted, so encrypted data, go to openssl encrypt. All right, so what's the first thing that we're going to pass in into the openssl encrypt function is data, which is, let's say I want to encrypt this data. Then we're going to pass in the data. Then the next one is the cipher algorithm. What's the cipher algorithm? Let's go back to PHP function. The cipher algo. This is the cipher. This is the cipher algorithm. So if you come here, this is the cipher algorithm method. To get list of cipher algorithm method. To get list of all the PHP openssl cipher algorithms. Let's just copy this one and let's go check it out. I'm going to comment this one now, and I'm just going to use this place. Just permit me to use this place to echo it out. I'm just going to check what the cipher algorithm is. openssl vardom, because it's an array. So I'm just going to echo out what the cipher methods are. Alright, so this is a list of all the PHP cipher algorithms. They are all 146. But the one that we are going to be using in this tutorial and that works well with what we are going to do in this tutorial is this AES 128 CTR. So this is what we are going to be using in this tutorial, and that's what will work well with the encryption and decryption. Alright, so let's just go back and take this and just put it somewhere here. Right. Alright, so I just put it here in case if you need it. Okay. Alright, so that's the cipher algorithm, and that's what that's what we are using. AES 128 CTR. Alright, so we are going to pass in the cipher algorithm that we are using. So this is the cipher algorithm that we are using. Then the next thing is the password. The passphrase, it can be anything of your choice, but let it be let it be something that is secured. I'm just going to, let's say, key. I'm just going to call it key. Let's say follows maybe I'll just write random number, then encrypted is, let me write it down. Okay, so that's the key. I'm going to pass in the key. So, key. Alright, so what's going to be the next thing? The next thing is options. The options, as I've told you in this tutorial, is just going to be 0. I'm going to set it to 0. This is the order the other values that you can pass in as openssl raw data and openssl zero padding, but just pass in the zero. Just use zero. Options. Then the next thing is the IV. Alright, how do we do the IV? The IV, I'm going to get it from the IV is going to be a very secured string, a very secured characters, and we are going to get that from, just in a moment, IV cipher. We get the length. We first of all get the length of the IV that we want to create. Right, and just alright. The IV is initialization vector. Let's just stop calling it. I should just stop calling it IV. Just initialization vector. So the initialization vector, you need to get the length of the initialization vector that we want to generate, and we are going to get that from openssl, and just say cipher. Yes, openssl. Just going to pass this cipher IV length. So for this, I'm going to pass in the cipher. So this function is just going to go on and get the length generate what was it done? Get the cipher IV length. So it's just going to get the length of this particular cipher, of this particular cipher algorithm. Alright. So then we can now generate the initialization vector. And we are going to generate that with openssl. If you check this little docs here, so it says openssl random pseudo bytes, and that's what we are going to be using. Openssl random pseudo bytes. This is what is used in PHP to generate token, or very secure token in PHP. So IV cipher. So this IV cipher is a string, and this openssl pseudo byte takes in a string. It's going to take in the string and outputs a very secured token, a very secure token that is not longer than the length that we pass into it. Alright, so this is going to generate a token for us, an initialization vector token for us, and then you can use that here. Okay, don't mind this stuff here, because my Visual Studio Code, I set it to automatically save by itself, so I don't have to be pressing the Control S every time. Okay, so the next thing is the tag. The tag, because we are using CTR, we could leave it empty, but we are not going to leave it empty. Okay, let's just test if we can leave it empty. I'm just going to, so I will inject PHP here, echo encrypted data. So let's go check it out in the front end. Alright, right, so our data, this is our encrypted data. This data that we pass in, I want to encrypt this data. It was encrypted and into this form. All right, let's go on with our openssl configuration, openssl encryption configuration. The next one is tag. Let's just pass in tag. The tag can also be anything. Let's go confirm it here. The tag, the authentication tag passed by reference when using AED cipher mode. If you are using this GCM or CCM cipher mode, then it is compulsory to pass in the tag. It is compulsory to pass in the tag. But we are not using those cipher mode. We are not using the cipher mode, but we can still pass in the tag. Let's just write a random stuff. Say alright. So pass in the tag. Then the authentication, I've forgotten again. The additional authentication data. Then the additional authentication data, I just pass it in as empty. Then the tag length, it is between 4 and 16. Its value can be between 4 and 16 for GCM cipher mode. But we don't actually need that here. We don't actually need it here. But let's just include it 16. Oh, I'm missing a semicolon here. Alright. If you are wondering or curious about the reason why I'm not using GCM, alright, we can just go on and use GCM first. GCM. And it will still work. If you use GCM, it will still work. GCM. Alright, I can see it still works. It still works. Okay. And if we just mistakenly omit the tag, let me just delete this. If we omit the tag, so it's going to throw an error that a tag should be provided when using AED mode. So just include it. Okay. So let's go back and check it out. That's encrypted it. And what we want to decrypt it. Now, the same process goes for decryption. You can just go on and copy this one. Okay. And what are we going to pass in here? Alright, let's just leave it now and call this one. I want to intentionally cause an error just for education purpose. I just copy this one here. Okay, so it says openssl decrypt expects at most 7 parameters. Alright, so and we pass in 8 parameters, so the tag length is not going to be there. Okay, it's not showing anything. Why? We have to pass in the encrypted data, not the raw data. So it's the encrypted data that we're going to pass in. Right, it has decrypted it back from this is the encrypted data and this is the decrypted data. Okay, so now what if we have we want to encrypt, we can encrypt anything. Now we are going to be using this text area to be encrypting whatever we type in this form, and we are going to submit it. All right, let's just go on and configure the form action. I'm going to submit it to this same script, and that's going to be echo $underscore server php self. Okay, so let's come here and check if the form is being submitted, and we are going to check for this name, for that name field. If it sets +underscore post, if the data is being submitted, then data equal to $underscore post data. Alright, we are getting the data from the post request. Alright, I would like to put this encryption in a function. The openssl encrypt in a separate function and openssl decrypt in another separate function. Now let's do that. Function just follows ab encrypt. Then data that we want to encrypt, and you can just go on and grab all this and grab that and paste it there. Okay, then what about the decryption? Just the same thing. Right, so decrypt is not going to be the main data, but the encrypted data, or the encrypted data. So we can remove this and also remove this and change this to openssl decrypt, and we are going to be returning something. I'm going to be returning something. Okay, data and tag length, should remove this, and finally remove this. Okay, then should create two variables here, like encrypted data, then much like it, decrypted data. Okay, we should remove this. Okay, then we can do this and call the encryption method. We are going to pass in the data for it to encrypt it for us, and under it, let's decrypt it, or can decrypt it here. Should we decrypt it here, or we can actually decrypt it anywhere, but I'm going to decrypt it here under immediately under the encrypt immediately after encrypting it. I'll just call the say the decrypt and passing the encrypted data. Okay, so the encrypted data and the encrypted data and the decrypted data. So both of them will be echoed out here. Okay, so let's go check it out below the page. All right, I really want to encrypt this data and submit. Okay, hey cipher description field. Why? 62. Let's go check it out. Okay, so why is it giving us the error? Data cipher key options IV, the tag and the AAD. So why is it giving us that error? Why is it giving us the error? But the encryption worked. The encryption worked. Maybe we should try to submit another data. Let's just submit a random data now. See, this one, the encryption worked. Alright, so let's go check out what caused the error. GCN, the key must be the same. All the stuff here must be the same with everything that is going to be passed here. Everything must be the same. Okay, so let's check it out. What really happened and what's going on? What went wrong? Okay, the stuff that actually went wrong is, let's try to switch from CGM to CTR. Let's switch to CTR, and I'm just going to submit another random string. Okay, let's submit it again, and let's load the page. Okay. What went wrong? What went wrong? What went wrong? Options, then the key. Okay, so let's try to move this to up to this space, and also remove this to this space, and let's check what went wrong. Okay, so it worked, but this is returning a base 64 or binary. It's returning binary or base 64. Why? Let's just pass in bin to x here, bin to x, just to convert it to like it's still an error. Okay, let's check where the error occurred. This cipher, the IV, the IV has to be the same. The IV that we use to encrypt the data here has to be the same. Has to be the same thing that we are going to use to decrypt the data here. And we can also supply, instead of getting a random byte, a pseudo random byte, we can supply it by ourselves. But before we supply it by ourselves, we have to follow a rule. I'm going to get a rule soon. Okay, I'm just going to enter a random string here, then just copy it and paste it here also, and we can go check it out and see the error that we are going to get. And you can just write any random string here. Okay, so we say IV passed is 35 bytes long, which is longer than 16 expected by selected cipher. All right, so this particular cipher, the CTR cipher, accepts 16 IV, accepts 16 IV. So we can check that just by echoing out the IV cipher length here. The IV cipher length here. So you can just echo it out. And as you can see, it is 16. So we have to supply 16 characters, not just any other characters. I have to supply 16 characters. And yeah, I said this tag can be anything. No, it cannot be anything. It can be GCM. You come to PHP docs here. You see it can be GCM or CCM. So GCM can supply GCM and also supply GCM here. So just call it that. Okay, so this is going to be 16 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, let's go and copy this and put it here also. Okay, so let's reload. Okay, all right, we are still getting an error here because it is converting it to hexadecimal string. We have to remove the into hex here and go back and just let's reload it here. Okay, so you can just say this is one of the best encrypted data tests. All right. Okay, so it was encrypted here and it was decrypted back here. So it depends on how long the data that we are encrypting is. So that's how long the encrypted data also will be. Let's come here and copy a string some strings here. Let's copy it here and paste it. Okay, and we are just going to load it. I see the encrypted stuff here, and let's see if we can get the break stuff to work. The break line, the line break to be interpreted. Let's check if it can be interpreted. Okay, all right, it was interpreted. All right, so the line break also was also encrypted. So the line break was interpreted. Data, text, stuff, all this stuff. All right, so this is how to encrypt data in PHP. So you can encrypt any data. You can encrypt URL data, like you can encrypt data from the database, or you can encrypt message. If you are building a messaging app, you can encrypt the message of the users. You can encrypt their message in your database so that it will not be able to be spied on. And if peradventure anyone hacked hack into your database, they will not be able to see the messages, the raw messages. The only thing they will be able to see is just the encrypted data. The encrypted data. That's what they'll be able to see. Alright, so if you like this video, give it a thumb up, and please do subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel. It motivates me to do more. And if you don't like this video, just give it a thumb down and tell me the reason why you don't like it. Alright, thank you. See you in the next tutorial.